Storm fans, arise! Your favorite mutant has just gotten nothing short of a guest role in the new issues of Immortal Thor, which we can all agree has been one heck of a ride. If you want to see more of this insane Thor run, we need to get this video to 4K likes and 20 comments. I'm sure that won't be a problem, because Storm brings the freaking thunder. Storm not only goes toe-to-toe with the Immortal Thor, but also lifts Mjolnir. A goddess in her own right and chosen to be worthy by Mjolnir, let's see how these almighty storms clash. And what's next? The Immortal Thor series has done one thing to straight perfection. In a quick recap, the issue has properly revived Marvel's Asgardian. His iconic look is back, and Midgard's Rainbow Bridge is restored. Thor's back on Earth, and he's not just back saving the day, he's also chilling with the people of the Earth, taking photos, signing autographs, playing chess, even having some drinks with the people. Of course, the peace is never permanent, and when the Utgard Thor Toranos came into the picture, that peace abruptly ended. An elder god that's been around since the creation of the planet, popping up most likely as the beginning of nothing good. The wheel has turned. Too long has this world stagnated. Too long have you chosen illusion over change. You sleepwalk through a dream life, but I am the bloody awakening. I come to you from Utgard, the storied land, that is the land of true things. I come to shatter thy false world apart, and my name is Toranos, the Utgard Thor. After the bold proclamation, Thor tries to stop him and gets smacked around, and yeah, the first impression didn't go so well. Thor managed to survive his first encounter with Toranos, fortunately, but even Thor had to admit he was outclassed. The only way he could win is to stop trying to do it alone. A game with stakes is still a game, Loki, Thor started off, but a lesson has been learned. That the Allfather's power cannot guarantee victory, but my own might if I have the quick mind to apply it. Indeed, the solution to the riddle of Toranos is now within reach. We will need allies for what comes next. Allies who share the necessary experience. Yeah, he figured it out. The Immortal Thor needed a team, the Thor Corps, but that wasn't going to be so easy. Though I fear at least one is not going to enjoy seeing Loki at her door if she's to join us in battle. Her? She? Yep, it's happening. I must speak to the Goddess of Thunder alone. If you're not sure who she is, just read the title of the video again. The Thor Corps was pretty much almost complete already, with Jane Foster, Beta Ray Bill, and Loki already being members of the team. Well, all the names on Thor's elite team probably sound familiar except Beta Ray Bill. For those of y'all who don't know, Beta Ray is an alien warrior from the planet Corbin who's pretty much like Thor. The first outside of Marvel's Norse pantheon worthy of wielding Thor's hammer. Pretty badass team so far, but there was one weather mutant goddess that was needed, with Storm still in a battle of her own. Remember the X-Men Red event? Yeah. So as this is popping off, Storm is literally in the midst of this crazy Genesis war going on between mutants. So while Storm's flying around in Arakko, a group of mystical crows appear to her and go, "You are summoned." "Am I?" she sarcastically remarked. But when a god with the Odin force calls, what can you do? So Thor just snatches Storm and teleports her directly to the moon, where he was. "Damn it, Thor!" Storm yelled out. Thor might have gotten Storm on the moon, but getting her to fight on his side will be the hard part of all of this. Now Thor's got to come face to face with a really pissed off Storm. "I'm busy," Storm states. "Then I apologize for the abruptness of the summons, Aurora." Thor tries to explain why he needs Storm, but she just isn't having it. "Apology accepted if you return me to Arakko now, Thor." The Asgardian continued. "A moment, please. I could not trust even my ravens to convey the seriousness of my message, nor the urgency of Raccoon!" Down came lightning from above, shutting the Asgardian up. Storm was done talking. Apparently, the gray area of the moon had some pockets of air, and thus let there be lightning. Both combatants were well armed. "Is the need so urgent that you must kidnap me from my home and my people? Because if that's the case, I promise you, Arakko needs me more. Return me." Storm getting ready to actually go blow for blow with Thor. Aurora. Krakoom! Down came more lightning. There was just no getting out of this one without putting up a fight. Or was there? Using lightning against a literal god of lightning isn't really smart. "Stop hitting me, please." "Excuse me?" "I spoke not to you, Aurora, but to the lightning." "Thank you, my friend." And just like that, the lightning no longer had any effect on him. He talks to lightning now. Wow. Storm, like the rest of us, just couldn't believe it. "I am growing tired of people forcing me to miss my strikes." Storm explaining just how frustrated she is with everything that's been going on. "The lightning loves me as it loves you," Thor said. "We should not make it choose. It could not really hurt me in any case. Well, all of that only fired Storm up even more. Now she really wanted to get her message to Thor. I trusted to convey the seriousness of my message, she started, cutting off the Asgardian. And though I enjoy the play of lightning, there are more universal forces. Now the lightning had stopped, and as she just said, she moved on to something entirely different. Something that Thor obviously wouldn't be impervious to. Atmospheric pressure, for example. And there are places where the atmospheric pressure is high, such as Jupiter. She had Thor thrown down and reeling in pain. She had, in fact, had Thor bleeding out his ear. You command the storms, Thor. I command weather. And not as a king on a throne, I command it as an equal. That's big energy. You gotta love it. In that moment, Thor felt the weight of an entire world on his back. Like if Thor was a normal person, he'd be reduced to nothing. His entire being would just fold into nothing. Even with all the pain Thor was in, all he did was smile. Who's stronger? The question those like us are always asked. Who's stronger? He said this while making his way up to his feet, even as the moon's atmospheric pressure continued weighing down on him. Can I arm wrestle the Hulk, run a race with Quicksilver, challenge Willie Lumpkin to a contest of wiggling ears? Now hold up. Just in case you were wondering, this is Willie Lumpkin, the greatest mailman ever. Quickly measure the results, write them down to see who's worthy. He was back on his feet now, like Storm's atmospheric pressure didn't even have a single effect on him. But strength is relative to the need for it. If I have to, I can stand on Jupiter. I can stand anything if the need is great and the cause is just as you can. As can we all. We are not measured by strength nor by raw power. The measure of us is what we do when the need of action lies with us, and the hammer is in our hands. And Thor literally sends the hammer flying straight towards Storm. Again, the crushing air of a different planet. Against even Storm's powers, he threw with all his might. This was Mjolnir, the almighty warhammer forged in Uru with the All-Magic. It was the bane of all Thor's foes, but most importantly, it was about to become the hope of all his allies. And out of absolutely nowhere, Storm blows our minds by actually catching the hammer. Like she's just comfortably lifting Mjolnir now. And Thor says, whoever holds the hammer, if they be worthy, shall possess the power of Thor. She'd become the almighty Storm now. In fact, even her clothes had changed, donning a new, more godlike costume, but that wasn't all. Not a moment too soon. Look up, Thor said to Storm. The timing could not have been any better for Thor, really, because just as Storm catches Mjolnir, Terranos makes his way to the moon. He was here now. At last I have found you. Tornos is here, small gods. Tornos, first of all thunderers, proof against all your power. I was formed with the gods of the forming of the earth, and I will bring all these things to their end. And finally, Storm's eyes were open. She instantly realized what was at stake. You summoned me to fight that. You're right, it was urgent. It was now time to face Tornos, and even though Thor's team was complete, the upgrades were not done just yet. Apparently, Storm wasn't the only one getting new powers today. Ororo, throw the hammer at Loki, Thor yelled out. Yep, Thor deemed Loki worthy, but was he? I'm not catching that fastback special, Loki said, with very little faith in how worthy he was. That's a hero's task if I ever saw one, and fortunately, I have one right here. Beta Ray Bill, come forth. And out of one of Loki's portals comes Beta Ray. For Mjolnir is yours again to hold high as a warrior of Asgard. He was worthy. He'd now become Thor. With Tornos right there and one heck of a battle right at their doorsteps, Loki finally realized it was time. Two could hold the hammer as easily as one, Beta Ray said, holding out the hammer for Loki to do what was necessary. And four as easily as two, Loki instantly replies, grabbing hold of Mjolnir. And just like Storm and Beta Ray Bill, a jolt of lightning fell from the skies, donning Thor. 3 down, 1 more to go. All that was left was Jane Foster. Immediately, both Loki and Beta Ray threw Mjolnir towards Jane, who got a hold of it and transformed, just like everyone else. They were now complete. These 4 are worthy to wield Mjolnir. Behold, Tornos, you could not defeat Thor when he stood alone. And now, you face the Thor Corps, Thor says with his team right behind him, striking one heck of a pose. That was an intimidating sight, even for Tornos' eyes. How will this one end? Who will stand tall as the true god of thunder?